Hello again. Still day 23, I think said it was there. Yeah, I wanted to touch more on the whole higher power issue. That is a big one for me, and I know a lot of other people as well. It's a big reason why people make it or break it. AA and other 12-step programs, basically any 12-step program that I know of, that I've heard of, incorporate some idea or concept of a higher power that is absolutely needed in your life in order to recover. I have conflicted opinions on that. I do believe that there is something in this universe greater than me. Yes. I am not God myself. I don't know everything. I don't have all the power. I don't know. I'm not the all tell all, know all, see all, whatever. And neither is the next person beside me or the guy down the road or anybody. There is something above us. I'm sure of it. But what that something is up for debate. I don't really want to dabble into the religious part of it too much because that's where I have the problems. I could go on all night about how anti-religious I am and put down basically every religion in the world with facts and all that, but I don't want to go there, so I'm not going to. My point is that with recovery, this progressive recovery, which I am living and experiencing and learning for myself, pretty much every program and every person you talk to says you have to have a higher power. Basically, what it boils down to, the concept of it is you have to give up your will because obviously your will didn't work. You couldn't make yourself quit drinking on your own. You've tried and you failed. So you're on your knees, you're at this AA meeting, you're hearing this stuff for the first time. They say you have to have a higher power. You have to give over your own free will, basically, to some other something. A concept, an idea, I don't know what to call it because I don't know what it is. Well, I have my own rendition. I'm going to get into that in a minute here. And you have to give it up to that. And you basically means you can't do it on your own. You suck. You're useless. You're... No, it's not that bad. But it's kind of what it seems like to the newcomer. I know a lot of people that are against the higher power thing, and for very valid reasons. Because it does make it seem like you're useless. It does kind of put you out there that as if you're a failure in life. You can't fix it, and some made-up thing, entity, I don't know what, is all that can fix you. And I don't like that concept, and a lot of people don't. And unfortunately, it's a reason why a lot of people fail at recovery. It has held me back. I know this by personal experience. It has held me back in the AA program for a while now. I'm finally now getting to a point where I think I have a pretty good grasp on what a higher power means to me. And that's the biggest thing about it, is you have to... They even say this in AA. It depends on the meeting you go to, and it depends on the people in them. It's kind of a personal opinion sort of thing, but... what was I getting at? A lot of them, okay, yeah, some people in AA are religious to begin with. The people that grew up going to church, they go to church every Sunday, they believe in God, they have all that. So they say that it's just God. It's the big guy up in the sky watching over you, and you have to give in to him. And, you know, that's fine for them, whatever. You want to be religious, you've been taught this your whole life, you have no... that's what you believe, it's what you know, then fine, good for you. If it works, awesome. You know, if it keeps you sober and it keeps you happy, I'm not against it. All the power to you. But for me personally, I don't have a belief in a God up in the sky. Or Jesus, or Moses, or Buddha, or Allah, or whatever the other ones are called. I don't know them all, but I don't believe in any one single power that controls everything. I don't. There was no one creator that made the universe, and made the earth, and made me and you and everybody else. I don't believe in that shit. That is kind of a storybook rendition of what is real. I don't know how to put it, but anyways, like I said, I don't want to get into religion too much. I see it's hard for me not to. But anyways, get off of that. I have my own opinion on what the higher power is. And it took me a while to get here. This whole, if you don't know if you see my last video, but it's about the whole progressive recovery versus progressive addiction. The progressive disease of addiction and how you have to change it around into progressive recovery. I touched on that a bit in my last video, and it was just kind of an idea that came to me, and it makes a lot of sense. Go ahead and watch that video. It's awesome. But anyways, in that progression of this thing called recovery that I am involved in here, I have had to come around to the idea of a higher power. They are telling you the truth when they say these things. In these meetings, in these programs, in these 12-step programs, whatever. You do need to believe in something besides yourself. But it doesn't have to be God. It doesn't. G-O-D. Some guys say, oh, they just say it's a good, orderly direction. Or some guys call it Gus, the guy upstairs. Or, oh, I can't remember. There's a bunch of different ones. And, you know, whatever works for you, fine. But for me, I don't even like to use the word God. It's just higher power, plain and simple, no God involved. And it's nature. I touched on this a little bit in that last video, and I'm going to get into it a bit more now. And nature itself is about the only thing, the closest thing to perfection. I wouldn't say it is perfect because, you know, species die and planets blow up and suns burn out and there is some chaos, but nature itself is based around order, based around life, based around things working like they should. You know, ecospheres and just everything. The order, you know, the food chain and all that, you know, the little microbes feeding the bigger microbes, and those microbes feeding the tiny fish, and the tiny fish feeding the bigger fish, and the bigger fish feeding the mammals, and so on up to the top. And, you know, it all works. It fits together and it works. That is organization. That is order. That's what I was getting at. I get a little kind of fuzzy sometimes, and it takes me a while to figure things out, but talking helps. That's why I make these videos. I make these videos to help myself. And if I help you in the process, then awesome. It's only my opinions. You don't have to take everything I say to heart. You know, everybody has their own opinion. But these are my opinions. And these are what I need to realize, and the things I've had to figure out on my own in order to stay sober and to continue with the progression of recovery. And my rendition of the higher power is basically good over evil. Order versus chaos. You know, light versus dark, the good versus the bad. However you want to put it, they all mean the same thing. And my higher power is basically me doing the right thing rather than the wrong thing. You know, continuing life on rather than destroying it. Being healthy rather than being diseased. Doing good rather than doing bad. All that kind of stuff. And it's me learning how to do that. And using nature and just the general goodness of all that we are as a species. And our planet and our little pets. Like my little Frankie boy here. You know, we are all not perfect, but we're about as close to perfection as you can get. If you think about it. Nothing is perfect. There is no such thing as perfection. Every species will eventually be extinct. Every planet will eventually die. Every sun will eventually burn out. The universe itself could very well eventually end. There is no perfection. But the closest thing to it is good and order. The light. Just all around good versus evil. You know, like when I'm sober, I'm a decent person. I make decent choices and I do decent things and I treat other people decently. You know, there's more good. I'm not saying I never make a mistake sober. I still fuck up. I still do dumb things once in a while. I ain't perfect, right? But I do a lot more good than bad. When I'm drunk, it's the opposite. I am more bad than good. I hurt people. I lie. I cheat. I steal. I freaking disappoint and, oh man, just everything. And there's more bad than there is good. So I am away from my higher power at that point. When I'm drinking, my higher power is not around. That order is gone. The chaos has taken over. And the chaos is destroying my life along with everybody else's in it. Just like the chaos of the universe destroys planets. You know, an asteroid smashes into the planet and rips it apart and kaboom, it's gone. That's chaos. Order is a planet being created. You know? The dust spinning around the stars and, you know, condensing together through gravity and over millions of billions of years and all that, creating a planet. That is order. That is good. That is going in a good direction and creating life eventually. That's the ultimate end of it. I don't know, maybe there is something beyond that. I don't know. I haven't died, so I can't tell you. But, so, that's how I see it. That is order. Chaos is bad. Order is good. The higher power is the order over the chaos. The good over the evil. And I like to call it nature. Nature working. Things working. My life working. As opposed to it being destroyed. So that's how I see my higher power. You might have your own ideas. That's awesome for you. Whatever works. Just keep fighting it, man. Just keep doing it. I am. Remember, it's progressive. The disease is progressive and the recovery is progressive. Just keep moving forward and eventually it'll work. See you later.